Hi and welcome back to my channel. I am Koala and this is my little nook in this end of the universe we call YouTube. And today I needed a bit of change of scenery. I am, however, contemplating moving because I have the sun in my eyes, or I could just enjoy it for a moment. Yeah, it helped actually. So this is the fourth, I think. Well, it's the next video in my series with the name that you see on in the title. So I'm just going to continue where I left off. And so in the last video I talked about the summer where everything kinda was coming into place. I talked a lot about waiting, about the medicine of ice, of just letting things happen beneath the surface, of waiting for integration. So when that had when I had reached the shore and saw my own face in the dream, if you remember me talking about the dream, so that's where I am with this video. So after I had reached the shore, I'm gonna talk like metaphorically sometimes like that. I saw my face in the mirror, you can say, and I realized, oh, okay, so this is the problem. This is who I am, and this is, yeah, there was a lot of things happening. So there was a period of time after that where I had to gather my thoughts and do the integration, I would say. So I did a lot of inner shadow work, like meeting my shadows and meeting the face in the mirror, and really having a lot of realizations about myself and how I feel about myself. And there was a lot of other things happening as well, because when the pieces to that puzzle, they were attached to other things as well, because all through my childhood I had been denied this part of myself, and those beliefs within me that I wasn't worthy of being myself, that I wasn't that those parts weren't me, those pieces were attached to what I had been told, how I had been raised, and the values that I had been raised with, the very transphobic, homophobic, all that kind of values. And one of my parents, the dominating parent in the household, I would say, were one of those, oh, I'm not racist, but you know, those people, or oh, I love the gays, I have a lot of friends that are gay and I accept these people just as they are, and that's the beauty of me, I accept them as they are, but you know, they are different. And it was the same with like trans people. The words were kinda well, no, I respect them, I think it's great that they are living their best life, it's just that you just see that how they were born and they can never change that, and it's just sad that they have to go through life looking like that, or a lot of like focus on the superficial, focus on what was visible to the world, instead of really accepting people for who they are inside. And you know, I have a lot of thoughts on that today now, and I had a lot of thoughts when the pieces were coming together. So when I had gotten off the boat and faced my own reflection, I faced all of that as well. I faced how I was brought up. I had to face my own thoughts and my own prejudice and my own internalized transphobia, and where it had come from, and how I had taken it on, and how I had expressed it in the past. And I went through a period of immense, it was like shame coming to the surface, guilt coming to the surface, because I had denied those feelings as well. So when I had gone through my childhood and being denied being my true self, I had also been denied my emotions around everything, and I had been denied so many things, and all of this came to the surface, and I had to find ways to face that. So I went through a period of inner turmoil that is looking back on it, it was horrible. I don't know quite how much was visible out, like, for other people. I know that some people around me noticed that I wasn't feeling well, and I talked about that in the last video. In the last video I talked a lot about depression and different types of depression, and now I had entered a stage where I knew who I was. I really knew who I was and I was starting to understand how I wanted to present myself to the world, but I hadn't yet reached how am I gonna do that, and is it even possible. And I was going through a lot of I'm not worthy of this, and the people will leave me if I am my true self, and how is anyone gonna accept me, and I had all of these words that I had heard when I grew up just wash over me, and from the inside out this time, and wash around me like a storm. I was caught in that storm, and but I made the decision that I needed to come out, because as I said in the last video, I woke up and this is when my egg hatched. That's the phrase that is often used. And when my egg hatched, I was like, oh, this can't go on. I need to do something. So the next realization after that was, the thing I need to do is I need to come out. I need to be able to walk as my true self into the world, if I'm gonna walk into this world at all anymore, if I'm gonna walk this earth more this lifetime. So so that's kind of what I struggled with in the late summer and early fall of 2022. It was a matter of going from, okay, this is me, what do I need, what do I want? And I also started a period of really turning from being denied things to not denying myself things. So I realized I don't know what I want. Not just the big things. I realized I don't know what I like, I don't know what I want, I don't know who I finally know who I am. So in the face of this is me, what do I like? Do I even like strawberries? Do I even like this TV show? Do I even like this color? So many things was tied up to those few words that I spoke in the first video, I think, which was I am. So okay, I am, and this is me. So who am I? What is entangled and into this knot of me? I had to untangle all of it. It was like a ball of yarn. In the center was me, and it was a ball of yarn with all of my thoughts and wishes and everything. And there was like, imagine a ball of yarn with different colors, and one color is what I actually want and what I actually like, and all of the other colors are what other people had put onto me. So I needed to untangle that, and I did a lot of shadow work, meeting all of that, just facing it, going into myself, and sitting a lot in meditation and contemplation, but also allowing things to come to the surface and meeting them where I was and where those feelings were coming from and to. And one thing that I did a lot was visualization. I visualized where I want to be, because sometime around here I came to the understanding that I am a shamanic practitioner, so I can use that. I can use my abilities and all of my knowledge and all of my teachings, and I can use everything. I can walk the talk, you know, you really walk the talk and use all of that to reach my goals. But this took time, of course. So this was all through the fall of 2022, and during that period I came out. I started with coming out to my partner. It was a very soft coming out. It was me just telling him that I'm thinking about gender and I need to explore this further, and I also during that time put myself on the waiting list for gender affirming care, which in Sweden starts with a psychological evaluation. So the waiting list is very long. When I put myself on the waiting list, it was 30 to 36 months long, and I don't know what it is now, but I haven't even gotten there yet. So when you're watching this, I haven't heard a peep. Well, yeah, I've heard one peep. I got a letter back telling me that I'm on the waiting list, and if I go in, there's an app in Sweden connected to the national health system, and you can go in there and I can see that, yeah, okay, so I'm still on the waiting list. Great. But I haven't heard a peep about my first visit or anything, and it's been almost 3 years. To this day, when I'm recording this, it's almost been 2 years and 11 months. So it's been 35 months almost. So the waiting time is no joke. So I realized that this is my first step, to ask for help and to tell people, just come out. The moment I woke up from the dream when my egg kind of hatched, I knew my name. It had been a part of me forever. It felt like, and I was so sure, this is my name. I'm Caspian, and this is just me. Something that really helped me was that I found out that I had one of my cousin's children is non-binary, and they told me that I shouldn't look at it as I have to tell people. I should look at it as inviting people to join me on my journey. So that's what I did. That was my focus on when I came out. Who do I want to join me on this journey? Who do I want in my corner, you know? So that's kind of what I did. I just was finally going on what I wanted and what I needed. And then I also made 2 YouTube videos. I made one in Swedish and one in English for my followers, and those were public. And I just said, this is me now. So because I felt like I always want to be transparent in that way. If I'm gonna walk my talk, if I'm gonna be my authentic self, I have to keep being authentic. And I knew that a lot of my clients had chosen me because I felt authentic to them, and I wanted to show up, keep showing up like that. So that's why I made the YouTube videos. And it was before that I had done a lot of meditating on what path should I take with this. Should I walk in the light and be visible to everyone and everything, or should I do it in the shadows? Should I focus solely on me and almost isolate from social media? Should I maybe work with something else so that I don't have to be in the light, be in the spotlight that I have chosen for myself? And I decided on something in between, and that when I was ready I was gonna do this. I didn't think actually at the time that I was gonna make these kinds of deep dive videos, but here I am and I feel ready. But it's taken me 3 years to be where I am today. So that was the fall of 2022, and so on the spiritual side of that, meditating and doing shadow work in different ways. There are so many ways to do shadow work, but the best way I feel like is to meet the shadows that are haunting you, and just instead of running away, to just sit with it. Like if you have a pain, or if you have a dark thought or an anxiety, you welcome it and sit with it, and just let it come to the surface, and you allow yourself to cry or be angry or relieved or whatever comes up. And just, I think that work is maybe a bit easier for me because I've done it for so long. That's kind of gotten me where I am today. And I know also how to meet those things without falling in the depths of despair and falling into the darkness. And those are some of the things that I do during my ceremonies and my all of the offerings, some of the offerings that I am providing in service in Swedish, but I will also do it in English, is helping. I am good at helping people through meditation and in a meditative state, meeting themselves. And I have done a lot of inner child healing work with other people and taught that for a long time. So one thing I want to mention before signing off on this video today is one of the best practices that's ever been in my toolbox, and that is using a mirror work. I don't know what mirror healing, no? So the practice is, this is an exercise, and I'm just gonna go through it shortly. There's no way for you to use what I'm saying right now and do it properly. I just want to let you know what I've used for a lot of years now, and especially during the period from when I met my reflection and was like, okay, this is me, this is what I want to be, this is what I want to put out into the world, and that has gotten me this far where I am today, is that I have always been, if you can visualize something, if you can see it in front of you when you look into the mirror, if you can change your perspective of yourself when you look into the mirror and see where you want to be, you can bring that future closer to you. You can bring it into the present sooner rather than later. And one way of doing this is using a mirror, and so you have a mirror in front of you, a big mirror. Like I use like one of these, in Swedish it's called pigtittare. It's a mirror that is about, I don't know, 2 foot high, maybe 60 centimeters, and then 1 foot wide, 30 centimeters. And then you have it in front of you and you sit in front of it, and then you have a lit candle so that the candle reflects in the mirror, and you're in a dark room, so you're in a completely dark room doing this, and you sit with only the candle light to guide you, and you focus on your eyes. So before this, of course, you put yourself in a meditative state, but then you look into your eyes and you let the images flow. You let the images flow and you meet them. So this is shadow work as well. So I would say the first step is doing the shadow work and meeting the images in this dark mirror. Whatever comes up, meet it, meet your fears, meet what you're seeing, acknowledge if it's a prejudice you have against yourself, if it's your childhood nightmare, if it's the ghost beneath your bed or your closet from your childhood, if it's maybe an ancestor or anything that you see. And then when you've done a lot of that, so I don't mean this is gonna happen in one sitting, it takes a lot of time, but when you're able to look into the mirror and only see yourself, you look into your own eyes, you meet your own eyes, and around those eyes, the mirror to your soul, the window to your soul, you start to see, and you allow yourself to see the version of yourself that you want to be, that you feel like you are inside of yourself. And when I did this, every time I did this, every time I closed my eyes and thought of myself, every time I looked in the mirror and did this exercise, this is what I saw. What you are seeing in front of you right now, more or less, this is what I saw. So I focused on that, and the proper exercise when you're sitting and facing yourself and you can finally see yourself as you want to see yourself. You see in the mirror, you're like, oh yeah, there I am. In that point in time, as soon as you see yourself, you blow out the candle, so that the last thing you see before there's darkness around you is your true self. And then you repeat this for 7 days straight. 7 days straight you do the same exercise, and you close the circle, you blow out the candle when you see your true self in the mirror. And this is a way to go into the portal of the mirror, into the future, and drawing that future nearer to you, that possibility. Because what we see in the mirror, everything we see in the mirror is possibilities. So every face you see is a possibility. If you see the worst version of yourself during this journey when you work with the mirror, that is a possibility. There is a possibility that the future you are going towards is the worst version of yourself, your biggest fear. And we as human beings tend to draw our fears closer than our desires. So it's important to then intentionally look towards our desires and allow ourselves to want that and visualize that, so that we can bring that one closer than our fears. But it's also important to meet our fears and let those know that I'm not afraid anymore. I see you for what you are. I see you for all the hard words that made you, that birthed you, because all of the worst versions of ourselves that we see when we look into the mirror, or that we see when we close our eyes, or that we think about ourselves, they have an origin. It can be a parent that talked down to you. It could be that you were bullied in school, or by friends, or by family members. It can be how you were treated in different situations, or by one person. It can be even one word from the right or wrong person once upon a time that can get stuck with you forever. And meeting our inner fears, our versions of ourselves that we fear is going to happen or fear are real. A part of that is facing the origin of it, and facing that person and telling that, if it was one person, I had one person in my life tell me I had big ears when I was a child. And I actually had to heal that within myself. And in that healing work, I had to face that person, not in real life, just inside of me. Face him and just tell him to F off. And let him know that I don't believe you. That those words are not true. And in that work, I also got, from the words that he uttered, I saw the surroundings and I could take it in, because there's more to every story than just what is said. It's the circumstances, it's other people maybe in the picture that we don't really recognize at the time, and all of this we have to meet. And sometimes it's as easy as just going into that moment within yourself, going back to that moment, realizing that this person is just ludicrous. His words or her words are ludicrous. That's not who I am. And tell them to just F off, or just go like, no, and then turn your back on them. Me and a friend of mine, we have a saying, I don't know where it came from, but it's like, when we meet something that is ludicrous, we're like, okay, so I'm just gonna go the other way. And then we just go the other way. And it's so it's funny, but it's also something that is, you can't do it in real life. you can't be speaking to someone and they are telling you all of this ludicrous stuff, and you're just like, okay, so I hear what you're saying, and I'm just gonna, let me just go the other direction. You can't do that, but in your mind you can do that. In your mind you can turn around and be like, oh dear, this is just ludicrous, I'm just gonna go the other way, and let yourself do that. And doing it in meditation, doing it in healing work is very, very powerful. So yeah, I could talk forever about this, and I can go deeper into the shadow work, the mirror work, everything, and I probably will in the future, but this is gonna be it for now. So to sum up, after I had met myself, I went off the boat, saw my reflection, my egg cracked, and I had a time of turmoil, inner turmoil, coming to grips with, okay, this is me, I know this is me, what do I need, what do I want, what people do I want to have with me on my journey, in my corner, and take action from there. And also doing a lot of inner shadow work, inner child healing work, meeting everything. It felt like a period of being slapped in the face wherever I turned, because it felt like every time I woke up, every time I turned around, I met a new memory, or hid like a long, not long lost, but like long denied memory of being mistreated and being denied my true self. And I had to just like push through all of this, because the only way out is through. And shadow work, inner child healing work, and especially the mirror work that I've told you about, those were my go-tos. Yeah, so that's where I'm gonna leave this video, and we'll see where I go in the next video. So according to my notes, in my next video I plan to talk a little bit about courage and taking the steps to show my true self outwardly, and how I did that, and how I did that along both, you know, practically, and how I did it, you know, always from a spiritual perspective and always from an inner healing perspective. So in my next video I'm gonna talk about facing the world, basically. So yeah, that's it from me today, and I hope you enjoyed this video a little bit and enjoy me being a bit vulnerable. And yeah, and I just want you to know that nothing that I've said today has to be true for you, or for the people that you know, or for the trans people that you know. Everyone is different, everyone's journey is different, everyone's choices are different. What I needed when I first came out might not be the same as what your friends have needed, or what you need in this moment, or did need. So if you did anything different than me, you didn't do anything wrong. If you have gone through a period of transitioning and coming out, and you are faced with people that don't really understand what's happening, and why you told one person one thing and another person not, and because I met a lot of that, of people being like, why didn't you tell me? And just know that you don't owe anyone anything. A part of a journey like this is understanding that the only person you're responsible to and accountable to in that moment, the moment of realization and coming out, deciding to come out, the only person you need to be accountable to is yourself. And for everything else there is still time. So you didn't do anything wrong. You're not doing anything wrong if you are doing what is right for you. So with that, walk in beauty, and I will see you in whatever comes next. Xing.